You better back Harvest. You pushed so hard to get that game when I was not interested, so you better believe in it.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Ethan.
And welcome to Game on Board Game, a channel where we talk about board games and do fun games and challenges based on our love for them.
Today we've got the first in sort of a two-part challenge video for you guys. We're going to be looking at some BGG ratings. In the second video, check that out next week, we'll be looking at BGG rankings. So you might be asking, like, what's the difference, right? Well, if you're familiar with BoardGameGeek.com, when you first go onto that site and you look up a game and you click into like the main page for that game, you're going to get a score, a two-digit number and then decimal score for these games, right? Mm-hmm. It's in a little green hexagon, sort of like right next to the game. That's like an average user rating. However, that, based on how many users have rated it, also influences the overall ranking of the game, such as like if you've heard of the BGG Top 100. Games getting into that are based on their ranking overall and where they fall relative to all other games, different than the rating.
Right.
Make sense? So today's is going to be based on the ratings. What we're going to be doing is getting groups of 5 games out that we've kind of picked based on like a loose, rough, thematic connection between those games. And we're going to see which of us can put them in a more correct order from highest rated to lowest rated.
Right.
So for each round, which there's going to be 3 of, there's going to be 5 points up for grab for each of us. Depending how we order them, say that I put the highest rated game and the 4th highest rated game in the correct positions, but I mess up the other 3 and they're not in the right order, that'd be 2 of the 5 points up for grab for me. And we're going to learn a little bit about, in our collection, what actually comes out ahead as far as ratings.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, so our first grouping that we're going to take a look at is 2024 board game releases.
Yep. So just for a quick review, we've got Fromage, Hero County, Let's Go to Japan, Cities, and Shipwrights of the North Sea Redux version. So that's how it falls into the 2024, correct?
Right.
Technically.
Now, these ones might be maybe the most difficult to start with because we haven't played 3 of them. So that might be a little difficult, although maybe we just sort of like know roughly what their ratings are. So do you want to go first?
Sure. I'll go first for this video and we'll trade off, but then for the rankings, you take the lead.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So I'll kind of talk you through my thought process here, right? So, Fromage. This game has been a big hit for us. Mm-hmm. In fact, I don't think I've heard anything bad about it, just in general. Yet, for as much as like certain newer games have really been shooting up the rankings lately, like more than usual in the past, I feel like, this one I don't know where it sits, but I don't think it's anywhere close to like breaking into a big milestone. So I don't know if that's just based on it not getting enough reviews or if like maybe it's a little more controversial than I've heard. But I'm thinking this is probably going to be kind of mid-tier. Now, Shipwrights is an interesting one. Since it is a re-released version of an earlier game, one of the first, if not the first Garfield games, I think, obviously that had to be enough of a hit of a game that they would want to make a new version. And usually when they do second iterations, people would consider it an improvement, right?
Right. So where do you think that one will fall?
I think that one will be pretty high as well, just based on the fact that it's almost like an expansion where those tend to just generally be rated higher because there's already people playing those games who are sort of bought into it, right? There's like a pre-cognitive bias. You have to like the game to like want to play the expansion and like the expansion. Sure. Right, so those just ended up getting a little higher. Now, this isn't actually an expansion, but I'm going to guess a lot of the people who were like interested in this Redux were people who already liked the first game. I think I'm going to make it Hero County up front. Well, actually, we should do it the other way. Okay, so I'm going to go with first place, Hero County, then Shipwrights, Fromage, Let's Go to Japan, and Cities. And last, okay? What are you thinking? How would you rearrange it?
So again, like I think this one's a little tricky because like we've only played 2 of them. I think Fromage has been a big hit for like quite a lot of people, and I think that's been pretty popular. So I actually think you have Fromage a little bit low. And then I also think Let's Go to Japan has also been like a really popular one, and it's one that a lot of people have been talking about. I do kind of.
Or are you basing it off of our feelings?
No, I'm in like a Board Game Geek Facebook group, and I've seen people talk about it in there. This is tricky.
There's a bit of a metagame aspect to it too, which I was kind of discussing with like the reissue beyond just like how good are the games.
No,
actually,
I agree. The reissue is kind of a tricky one.
I'm also realizing now that there's just a huge advantage for me having like you getting to see what I did first and like kind of play off of that. Ooh, okay.
I mean that might be completely incorrect, but I feel like I haven't heard very many people talk about that one.
Okay.
So I do think Cities is probably in the right place. I'm gonna go very different, I guess.
If anything that I did wrong, it was probably putting shipwrights too high. I could see like maybe that's lower and everything else just like shifts up one.
Yeah.
But okay, so you ready to lock in?
Yeah, I think
Fromage
so.
number 1?
Yep.
That's definitely just cheese bias.
I mean, I love fromage too.
Let's Go Japan, Shipwrights, Hare County, and Still Cities bringing up the rear.
Yeah, I mean, I might be completely biasing this because these are the two that we have played, and I love both of them. But
yeah, I wasn't going to say that.
We'll see how this shakes out.
All right.
So we did look up the scores, and we're going to kind of talk you through it. So the interesting thing was that 3 of them were the exact same rating. So we had to come up with a tiebreaker. So first off, the one that was like solidly in the lead was Haro County.
So that's a point for me.
Right. So Fromage, Let's Go to Japan, and Shipwrights were all 7.7. So to do like a tiebreaker between them, we decided to do which one's got more ratings.
Yes. The overall number of ratings.
The number of ratings.
And Cities had 7.4, so also clear in the last.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was clearly in the last.
Okay. So I believe I had 1, 3, and 5 correct, but switched these 2.
I think I had Let's Go to Japan and just Cities. So I think I have 2 points.
Yep.
Right?
Sounds good. I'll double check and post. All right. So our next group of games, we've got 5 roll and writes.
Roll and write or flip and write. You don't have to be roll and write.
Sure. One of Ashley's favorite types of games, so probably big advantage for you.
Oh, not necessarily.
You don't think so? We've got Dinosaur Island, the raw roll and write. Welcome to Your Perfect Home. Rolling Realms, the Stonemaier metagame. 3 Sisters, and Cartographers.
Yep.
So some pretty popular, pretty big names here.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to start us off this time.
Yes.
Walk us through your thoughts.
I think I'm going to put Welcome to first. That one has gotten some like spin-off games. I think that it's very popular, and I think that's probably going to be one of the higher ones. And then I think I'm going to put Dinosaur Island Roar and Write last. I feel like Dinosaur Island Roar and Write, unless you've played Dinosaur Island or you're very into dinosaur games, like this is more of a niche game. So I don't think that it's going to have like as high of a rating necessarily.
Sometimes a game having an audience, you know, devoted people who are going to be predisposed to
that
liking it.
That can impact the ratings,
right?
You're
like
right.
Compared to a mass appeal type of game that's going to get, you know, much more kind of watered down in the averages.
That's true.
But all right, I'm not trying to talk you out of it, just discussing.
I'm going to go Cartographers next. I think that one's also like a very popular one that a lot of people know about.
Bonafide classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going to go 3 Sisters and then Rolling Realms.
A lot of expansion content for Rolling Realms, though.
Yeah. I know that's the... You know, yeah, I'm going to flip them.
Ooh, okay.
All right. You talked me out of it. All right. That was something that I was
considering. Does this feel like
considering.
a betrayal to 3 Sisters, though?
A little
Your
bit.
favorite?
It is my favorite, actually. So it does feel like a little bit of a betrayal.
Okay.
But I just think that one is one that isn't as popular, so I don't think as many people know it. I do think Rolling Realms, just like the Stonemaier name, also like gets people too. So
could be.
That could bring people in.
All right, are you locking in?
I'm debating if I want to flip Cartographers and Welcome to.
Oh.
Because Cartographers is just like a classic that a lot of people really love.
I shouldn't have said anything.
No, I was thinking that initially, actually. You know, I think I'm going to.
Okay.
All right, this feels like a complete betrayal to like what my ordering would be. But I think we'll go with that.
All right. So first highest rated, you're guessing Cartographers, followed by Welcome to, Rolling Realms, 3 Sisters, and then Dinosaur Island. Or
Yes, I think I'm gonna go with it.
Okay.
I'm gonna lock it in.
all right. So I'm gonna swing for the fences on this one because I really don't know what to do. But this is going first for me.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how wide played this is compared to something like Cartographers or Welcome to, but I think a lot of people out there, mistakenly, in my opinion, think that it's better than the regular Dinosaur Island. So that's got to get it a pretty high rating.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
I think 3 Sisters is pretty well respected among Roll and Writes fans. Those are ones that I was pretty sure I wanted up there, and honestly, maybe even 3 Sisters would be first. From here, I get a little less certain, but I do like Rolling Realms being last.
Okay.
I think that even though it's Stonemaier or whatever, that doesn't mean things to the kinds of players who are just going to be grabbing cartographers or welcome to. You got to be pretty entrenched and meshed and deep into the board game hobby to like really care about that or to even get what this game is going for. No, that doesn't mean it's bad. I just think
is that your
it's hard to compete about these ones
because that's one of your least favorite.
Yeah, maybe. I feel good about this.
Okay.
Let's lock it in. The results are in, folks.
All right. So the official ordering is Dinosaur Island, Roaring Right. So Ethan was correct on that one. Then Cartographers.
Should have gone with that.
So Welcome to and Three Sisters tied, but again, we did how many total ratings there were. For Welcome to, there was 33,000.
Yeah, blew it out of the water.
Yeah. If we were
4,000 for Three Sisters.
honestly, if we were going by how many ratings there were for all of these,
Well, that's what next week's for.
I would have literally
Check in.
had it. Like in order, I would have had exactly.
Yeah, but again, popular doesn't equal good.
Yeah.
And those ratings are going to be all over the place,
That's
right?
true. The more people that you have rating might actually bring it down a little bit. Okay, so then Welcome to, because of that. Then Three Sisters.
Rolling Realms, bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
Much lower, 7.1.
Yeah.
So what were the numbers, just to review for everybody?
So
7.7,
7.7, 7.6, 7.5.
Both of these.
And 7.1.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, and now the score sits at Ethan.
5 total. Well, so you got 2 for this round. I wasn't sure what you wanted me to say.
5 total.
Yeah. So you got 5 total, and Ashley has only 3.
All right.
I'm not good at this game apparently.
That's interesting because again, we gave you a category that was right up your alley.
Now again, like if you went by like the overall ranking, maybe I would have had it. I don't know. I think I'm like forgetting that the more people you have, it can bring the score down.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't always work that way.
No, not always, but a lot of times it does. But if you have like only like you said, like a niche, like dedicated like fan base.
Right. And again, that just people often prefer this version. So
yeah, that's true.
All right. So our final category, another one that I think is very much up Ashley's alley. If you've watched any of our previous videos, especially our monthly recaps as part of our like yearly challenge to play through our collection, I've kind of coined a bit of a term for these as these medium light, cute animal worker placement games. I often say we've got a little bit too many of these and they're all kind of competing against each other. So why don't you just keep like the best 1 or 2 of them? You think I need them all?
Oh yeah.
Gotta have them.
Sure.
So now we're gonna see which of these actually come out ahead as the best ones.
All right.
All right. Am I starting again?
You are starting.
Okay. I kind of like where this is at, I gotta say. I'll probably make some tweaks, but Everdell, hugely popular game.
Mm-hmm.
But Farshore specifically, which is like a standalone, almost redux of the game, right? Mm-hmm. Again, I think a lot of people consider this to be like a better version, or at least as far as the standalone goes, without all the expansions from the original. Probably gonna be pretty good. So I'm gonna lock that into first pretty confidently.
Okay.
And Honey Buzz is a good contender for last as well, because I actually think, I know that this is a fairly controversial game. It certainly has its fans, but it also certainly has its detractors. And even you and I are kind of an example of that, where we don't really know where we fall on it. We like want to like it more than we do a lot of the times when we end up playing it, right?
Yeah.
Harvest fairly new, so that could be a little inflated, potentially still. I'm not sure where like the public perception of that game ultimately falls or anything. I know people like Keymaster games a lot. And then Flamecraft, I mean, that was a real...
It was a huge game for a while.
Yeah.
I think it still is. It still has a huge fan base.
But I also think there might be a bit of backlash against it because of that. Probably more popular than its rating will actually reflect. It's just tricky though, right? Because you get one off. Like you might have a good order, but you put one in the wrong thing, it throws the whole thing into a wrench. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go out on a limb and think that maybe Harvest is a little higher. Let's go second place for that.
Okay.
That could be a big mistake though. You don't hear that much about Harvest, honestly. Alright, I'm going to give Honey Buzz some credit here. It pains me to do it. But let's lock this in. Alright. What are you thinking, Ash?
So I think I agree with you about Everdell.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that is going to be number 1. Because it's a re-released version. It's kind of a standalone. People love Everdell. But also this one offers something a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think Creature Comforts is going to be second.
Okay.
And this could be wrong because of how long it's been out.
Mm.
But this game appeals to people with like... It appeals to different types of audiences. I think it appeals to like the normal audience, but then it also appeals to people who like want to bring kids into the hobby. I'm gonna think that like the people with kids maybe would rate that one a little bit higher. See, again, this isn't like my ratings. This is like what I think the people are.
Not at all.
So
Yeah.
I actually do think Harvest is gonna be last.
Yeah, I mean, justice for creature comforts. I did not like putting it in last place, but
yeah,
I just the type of average BGG user is not going to jive with that. Just knowing that they tend to skew into more heavy, more serious things.
But I think that's talking about ranking, not rating.
There's a
you
correlation.
Might be right. You might be right, but
you can't change it now.
And I think I'm gonna go with this.
All right,
actually.
locked in.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so you're going Everdell, Far Shore, Creature Comforts, Flamecraft, Honeybuzz, and Harvest.
Yeah, I think Honeybuzz and Flamecraft are very popular,
yes.
and people like them. But I agree with you that there's some people out there that are probably thinking they're controversial.
Okay, cool.
I could be very off about Harvest though. Is a newer one.
Yeah.
So sometimes
again, might be in its
get
favor.
auto-inflated.
If anything, general ratings decrease over time for
Right.
sure for almost every game, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So the numbers are in.
Wow. Didn't see this coming.
Yeah. People love Honeybuzz. I don't blame them.
I guess so.
And I did say I thought Creature Comforts was much higher. You like?
We did have a clear and away winner again.
Yeah. So
And
far,
a lot of these were pretty close.
Yeah.
Much more middle of the range, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
So these were tied and these were tied actually.
Yep.
So
Everdell, Honeybuzz in second place, which neither of us saw coming. Creature Comforts dead middle, Flamecraft, and yes, Harvest as you predicted. Maybe a little new, maybe a little unpopular, but
yeah.
last place.
So this was 7.9. 7.5 with 7.7 thousand ratings. This one is 7.5 with 5.9 thousand ratings. 7.4 with 18,000 ratings. And Harvest was 7.4 with 1.4 thousand.
Flamecraft, popular indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that it has 18,000 and it's still a 7.4 is actually like pretty good.
I guess so.
So I got 2.
Was this just a 1 pointer from me with Everdell? I bet the farm on Harvest.
Yeah.
Get it?
Unfortunately, you still won
Yes.
by 1
That's what
point.
matters. Final score from part 1 of this.
Was 6 for Ethan and 5 for me.
Yes.
I actually think had we not done it by like the tiebreaker by the thousands of people, that I actually would have come in much higher than you.
Perhaps. There's no way of knowing, so.
Uh-huh.
Bit of a hot streak with these challenges lately, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, you really have been. All right, so what were your thoughts overall?
Harder than you might think, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But also, something we didn't predict is so many of them being equally rated, right?
Right.
So was our tiebreaker method the best that we could have come up with? I don't know. I think so, because like that does play into where those numbers are going to land as far as the ratings and everything.
Yeah.
But not something that we were factoring in too much in our original thoughts, right?
Right. But I do think like, you know, the more people that are rating it, that are giving it that score, you know, kind of gives a little bit more like oomph to that rating, as opposed to, you know, you don't have that many people who have rated it or something like that.
Correct,
so.
yeah. That really doesn't bode well for Harvest in that last round there. It had the lowest amount of ratings and the worst scores, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I do think
Let's
that
get some
one,
people
like,
to bring that up, if anything.
Yeah, I like Harvest for sure.
Yeah. Here's the real question,
Yeah.
though, Ash, right? So now that we've looked at your cute animal games, your medium light worker placement cute animal games, any thoughts on whether some of them are more deserving than others to be part of our collection, to be played by us on the regular?
I still love cute animal games. They're one of my favorites. And I like the variety that they bring. I think that like all of the ones that we pulled out today, even like you say that they're all worker placement, but they're different. They're different.
They're the same thing.
They're not. You all let me know how you like cute animal worker placement games, as Ethan would say.
I will enjoy my victory for the week, but we will be back with part 2. Where We're going to be doing this based on actual rankings with 3 new categories of 5 different games each.
Yep.
So you don't want to miss that. Be sure to subscribe and catch it when it comes out. And if you like this kind of format, as far as the actual game itself, or doing a bit of a 2-part, let us know. We can always pull more of the games out and retry it again. Perhaps you'll get a bit of redemption, and then we'll have to do a tiebreaker in some sort of way. But for now, you're champion.
We'll see you next time. Game on.
Game on.